show in case you guys are just tuning in. Got some interesting position battles. And the beauty of this, Dave, is they feel deep. It doesn't feel like a battle of, oh, geez, they don't really have any. Who's going to win this one? You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll have a bunch of guys that you don't really feel great about any of them.
Right.
Like the best, the ones that stink the least are going to win. This is the opposite, where it feels like you've got a lot of good players in that secondary. But you only have a handful of positions, obviously, they can occupy, and the cornerback spot is most certainly one of them. And Pete Carroll talking about that, and just talking about the competition on the left side.
No, it's really, we're taking every couple of days here, to see how he's doing. We'll get a day off after tomorrow's work, and we'll see when we come back where he is.
I think his cuts are backwards. I think he was talking about Witherspoon. This is the one about the battle.
Reek's going to stay on his side. He's going to stay on the right side, and we'll give him work with the ones at times. He won't have the same workload as the other guys. And Mike and Trey just keep on battling. They're doing great. They've really had a terrific camp, both guys.
So he's talking about Michael Jackson and Trey Brown.
Yeah, so the first one was on Witherspoon, who's out with an injury right now.
Yeah, I was kind of confused there. But, yeah, it's Devin Witherspoon. Well, and here's the other thing. Well, let's play cut number 5, because I thought this was important that, that you have some really physical players at this position.
He's talking about Kobe Bryant here.
I thought Kobe played really well. Kobe, and remember the mock game, Kobe played really well also. He's really getting comfortable playing back on the back end. He's been really physical, noticeably one of the best hitters out there. And so I'm really pleased to see that, coming from the corner spot and, in the nickel spot. That's a good statement he's made. And so he's really serious about, getting everything in order.
I love that he brings that up, and I hope that is kind of the sort of stamp of this team, that they're big hitters that you get. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like we haven't really had that guy, like a Cam Chancellor type of hammer, I mean, and Jamal Adams is a fantastic player, and he is really physical with, like, blockers and things like that, but he's not. That's not like his
he's not the hitter
trademark, right? He's just a guy that just hustles and flies around.
Yeah.
And
what about Quandre? Would you say he's a hitter? Or he's kind of in between.
Well, I mean, look, there's nothing not physical about him. I mean, that where you would say, oh, he's lacking it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's big enough to be. I guess Bob Sanders was a hammer, but yeah, I would say so. It's just what's the problem is, you're playing free safety. It's really hard to square somebody up.
Yeah.
Because, you're coming from 10, 12 yards back. There's big, wide open areas. You're just trying to make a tackle. So, but yeah, I love that Kobe Bryant is that guy, man. I mean, a guy that he can play on the outside. He was the, Jim Thorpe Award winner, which is best defensive back in the nation. And then, so, but not only that, but also you start looking at safety as well, Bob. I mean, you got this Jonathan Sutherland guy coming on, who is, I think you're going to see him a lot more in this next Dallas game. But then if Jamal Adams comes back, you've got Julian Love, you've got Quandre, and then Jarek Reed, the kid that they drafted out of New Mexico. So, yeah, I mean, all of a sudden you start looking at this defensive backfield and go, who are you going to cut, man? I mean, or who, more importantly, who's going to get on the field?
Yeah, maybe none of these guys get cut, and they're just part of your depth. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice problem to have. I can't imagine any of the names you mentioned: Mike Jackson, Trey Brown, obviously Reek, as they call him these days, Woolen. Witherspoon, you spent the 5th overall pick on. They bring in Julian Love. You've got Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs. I don't think any of those guys are getting cut.
Yeah, or maybe traded.
Yeah, maybe Sutherland would be a guy that he's just not as familiar. I'm not as familiar. He doesn't have the name.
That could be a guy that they try to sneak back on the practice squad. So
yeah,
well, we won't be allowed to talk about him at the end of the year.
They're going to come up to the booth and say, "Don't mention him at all."